Hello, I'm Naresh Khanna. I'm the editor of Indian Printer and Publisher and Packaging South Asia. And I'm back in the town where I was born, not far from here, on Marine Drive. And I'm here with Faheem Agboatwala of the Bombay Master Printers Association to discuss the forthcoming BMPA summit on the 16th of January. And I've attended some of these summits, and they are quite interesting. And I think it's a kind of an important thing for the industry as it builds a kind of a cosmopolitan event, and it invites printers from around the country and packaging companies. So I'll allow Faheem to actually tell us a little bit about how the Print Summit came to the NCPA and what they're trying to do as they keep trying to grow the event. I would have thought it's big enough, but apparently the BMPA organizers think there's room to grow.
There sure is. So thank you, Naresh, for doing this late night interview. So Print Summit story is starting in 2005. That's when we had this small conference, so as to say. We don't call the Print Summit a conference anymore. But at that time, it was a small conference. In 2005, we did it at the Mayfair Rooms at Worli. And not too many people, maybe 200 odd people had attended that. And then from then onwards, the next year, we moved to the Leela Hotel at Andheri, near the airport. And there were 300 odd people. And a couple of years, I think we did it over there. And then one fine day, we discovered the Tata Theatre at NCPA at Nariman Point. And it's 1,000 seats, and at that time one of the largest theatres in the city, and acoustics, the finest in the country, built for Hindustani classical music without amplification. It has that lovely amphitheatre. So, but we don't have 1,000 people to come and attend Print Summit. So at that time, but we took the plunge and we said we must, and we didn't even have the money to pay for NCPA. Because it's so expensive. But then we upped the game, gotten our sponsors who continue to support us till today. And then we chose NCPA, and once we did that, we could never go back to any other venue. It's a big problem because my team keeps telling me that we want to go bigger and bigger. It's only 1,000 seats, let's do 1,200, let's do 1,400, let's do 1,500 seats. But the intimacy of NCPA is something that I don't want to lose. So for the foreseeable future, unless there's an amphitheatre of this proportion, which has more than 1,000 seats, we're stuck to NCPA because we love it so much.
I believe there's a theme that you have for this year. And how is that theme different than the usual themes? You know, the themes are always sort of break the boundaries, be bigger, do this, do that. I mean, kind of motivational. Yeah. But what is the meaning of the theme this year, and how does it actually connect with the legacy of what you've been doing? I mean, how is it kind of how does it embrace what you've done and connect it to what you're wanting to, where you're wanting to go? Is there something in that? Is that possible to say something about that?
We've tried to keep the theme broad, and we've let the audience or the person who's reading decipher what it means. The theme is Be Unstoppable. And it could mean different things for different people. But for us, what it means is that we promise the audience that we're going to give them something bigger and better every year. Better content, more engaging content. And that's what Be Unstoppable means for Print Summit. That come what may, whatever happens, we'll definitely be better year on year.
See, allow me to say, Faheem, you know, I live in Delhi now. I've lived there for many years. But I'm always very watchful and keen about what's happening in the country as a whole, and especially in Bombay. And I see this event, frankly, as momentous in the sense that the Bombay Master Printers, who have always led the industry, okay, this is not always a nice thing, okay, because sometimes when the Bombay Printers lead, it becomes overweening and overbearing. This is not in your generation, by the way. This is from earlier generations also. And in earlier generations, when the leadership from Bombay was so formidable. Why was it formidable? Because it had very generous printers who were very knowledgeable. Okay, they invested in research. They were very humble when they went to the leaders around the country. When they were younger, they didn't know how to, and they were made the leaders. They didn't know how to deal with others. So it was very, very humane and cultured type of printer that came from Bombay, because Bombay itself is an amazing place. Difficult to explain, but I feel that the BMPA and the other associations in Bombay also represent a great kind of leadership. And to develop this leadership without being overbearing, without making the rest of the country uncomfortable, and trying to bring them in, and trying to let some of this self-confidence of Bombay, let some of this polish, let some of this interaction professionally rub off on them, I think it's a great opportunity, because it's a fragmented industry. It's a huge industry in India, but it contains very many small owner-owned businesses. People who do their business, but still retain their humanity. And this is not everywhere common. So this is what I find unique. It's not just about the BMPA, it's part of the city and the culture of cosmopolitan Bombay. And to share that with printers around the country is to share something very precious, which will enable them, I think, in the future to also have more self-belief in what they do, be proud of their industry and their business, and also to find professional and ethical ways of running their business. This is partly idealism on my part, because I'm a Bombay fan, but it's also what I feel the BMPA is doing and the summit is doing. It's extending, it's opening its arms to printers around the country. Come, be with us, share with us. We won't knock you out with all kinds of technical razzmatazz. We will be friendly, we will eat together, we'll break bread, and we will create a meaning for what is printing, what is packaging, which is of great service to the economy and, to things like education and other things. So I think there is that sense running through, and for it to take place in the great cultural palace, modern cultural palace, an architectural marvel, is also a bit of genius. I would not grow the thing bigger.
I agree.
If it meant moving out of there. Okay? Yeah. For a printer to merely be able to sit there in that wonderful space with that acoustics, and also to have some real Indian classical music, okay, or Hindustani music, it would be fun just to come here for that reason.
Also, I must tell you, you'll be really, really happy to know that for many, many years now, we call students from various colleges, printing colleges and otherwise, management colleges, design, etc., completely free. So there are 50 seats in the 1,000-seat auditorium, which is given out completely free to students. We write to the colleges, we tell them send interested students to us, and they really, really enjoy it. They're the ones who are glued to their seats from morning to evening. So that's a give back and service to the society which BMPA does.
Wonderful, and this is part of the maximum city. It's part of what it is, and this is the civic tradition of Bombay also, to do for others, to build for others, and this is why there has been a JJ school. That's why there is an industrial design center at IIT Mumbai. True. They also could be welcomed into this thing. So it's a great thing. So what else would you like to share with our viewers about this particular event this year?
Okay, so it's very clear for many, many years now that the audience loves non-technical content.
Okay.
The audience loves content which is inclusive, which their children can enjoy, which their wives can enjoy, or spouses can enjoy, as well as the workers can enjoy.
Okay.
So we've got people from staff level right up to owner level, from the small single owner companies right up to the huge conglomerates. They're all there at Print Summit, including all the vendors, suppliers. Everybody wants to be there because it's not a conference. It's a confluence, not a conference.
Okay, so it's a community event.
It's a community event.
It's a networking event.
Exactly.
It's a family event.
Exactly.
So it's an interesting approach.
Yeah.
I think it's an interesting approach in industry to do something that you do within your company maybe once a year, to try and extend that to the to create the family of the industry in a way.
True.
Extended family of the industry.
True. And all over India, the people now, earlier we used to have 100 odd delegates from out of Bombay. Now we have almost 250 delegates which are outside the city. So it's becoming a national event, even though we don't advocate it as a national event, but still it's become one because they are such loyal followers and fans of Print Summit. So this year, as you said, Hindustani Classical, we're going to have our grand finale with Ustad Tawfiq Qureshi, who's Ustad Allah Rakha's son, and he's that master percussionist. So we've got him to do the grand finale.
Allah Rakha's son?
Allah Rakha's son, Zakir Hussein's brother.
Acha.
So he's going to do the grand finale. And we're going to begin with Anand Kripalu of EPL.
Yeah, I know him.
And he's a very interesting guy because not only is he currently the head of EPL, but he's been at very, very leading positions in Cadbury India and HLL.
Yeah.
So he's going to share stories of the larger companies that he's been with, and as well as EPL, which is itself Blackstone backed. Tell us a little bit about the challenges at Cadbury with the 2-3 issues that they had with packaging.
Yeah.
And he's happy to share that.
Yeah.
So that's one. After that, we have a very interesting speaker. He's the founder of Tally. Now, Tally is what Xerox is to photocopy. Tally is to the
Accounting
software in
Wonderful.
India.
Yeah.
And luckily, we've got Bharat Goenka, who's the founder. He's the guy who told his son that this is a Chopra and this is how I tally my accounts, and you should replicate this in a digital format. So he's the guy who's actually the founder of Tally.
That's very interesting. I thought it was a Tata product. It's not.
Well, there must be some stake of Tata in it, but this is that same small, humble guy who actually started it and still is the boss of Tally.
Of course, we are all users of Tally.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, just to go back to Anand Kripalu, the story that's also very interesting is that he is actually quite a passionate person as far as sustainability.
Right.
And how has he extended the sustainability compliances of EPL, not just in the Indian plants, but throughout the world. And in fact, he's way ahead of everyone in the world.
Wow.
Because big companies around the world are retreating from the sustainability goals. Because their investors are telling them, that why do this? Why not just make money? How can we afford to be so ethical and worry about recyclability, etc. But he's persisted very, very, he's invested a great deal and built up an enormously interesting team in actually looking at every facet of that.
So I'm going to be meeting him next week, so probably I'll remind him to bring this point up.
Yeah, how do you, he's actually done an incredible global activity. Yeah. So there is something in his management style to learn from, I think.
True.
Okay. Anything else you want to share?
Yep. Then we have, so as I said, that it's not technical and it's not only about ink on paper, but at the same time, it's printers in the audience. So it's great to hear stories from printers themselves.
Of course.
So this year we've got ITK, who's Iqbal. He's going to be presenting 2 complete mavericks of the industry. One is Khushru Patel of Jack Printers, and the other is Mr. Selva Kumar of Lovely Offset.
Okay.
Now, what we're trying to show to the audience is that there is life beyond print.
Wonderful.
And these 2 men are doing stuff which is completely unbelievable.
Of course.
And they are printers by day, and I'm not going to spill the beans, there's completely different personas by night.
Yeah.
So we're going to bring that out. We've got videos which we've shot with them. We're going to show you what they do apart from print. So I think that's a brilliant session.
See, that's another part of what the Bombay industry is like. That they work hard, but then they play hard also, and they have their passions. Somebody might be building a motorcycle, somebody might be a collector of cars, Another person is a classical vocalist. There are manufacturers also
Yes.
who are good
Sajid.
singers, filmmakers, photographers. There are many passions. Calligraphers.
But we want to bring that out and tell the audience that this is what people are doing. You're not the only one.
Yeah.
I keep telling my wife, I'm not the only one. There are other crazy people all around.
Yeah. And it is that interest in the wider world. It is that interest in building our country also. It is that interest in doing for others or understanding reality, interpreting it, which is a creative aspect, which is very much part of our tradition as printers. We were calligraphers, we were type founders, we were typesetters, we were color retouchers. So we are, and Bombay is the place. Okay, in Bombay, photography came 4 years after it was invented.
Wow.
Okay, in Paris and London, it came here. So this is one of the leading cities of the world, and it needs to play this role to a community which is of small businesses around the country. So it needs to show them that, first of all, small is beautiful. Second of all, that we are all printers, and what is the complexion and what is the landscape of printers? It contains these fragments which sparkle, which are different, which have their individuality, and which many of them try to inject into their daily work. Of course, the customers tell them no sometimes. Okay, customers want this, but they have the capacity to add these other unique values, which are not visible always. And this is an opportunity for them to network in a place and to feel at home and to share. So this transition needs to take place by welcoming more people and making the young people realize that this is a fabulous industry in which to grow and to build things, and they are no less glamorous than doing a startup in software and unnecessarily going into gaming or cryptocurrency. This is a great brick and mortar industry, and it's a very modern industry, by the way. We use the same technology as the rocket scientists, as NASA uses. That's what imaging is about.
Very true. In fact, last year we had a panel, a women entrepreneurs panel, and we had 4 lovely ladies on the stage, and they all were in love with print. And they were so passionate about print. In a day and age when we feel that people don't want to get their hands dirty, here are 4 women who really love print, and they said it in front of 1,000 people on stage that we love print and we love being a part of print. And they're leading their companies.
Okay, so Faheem, try and quickly tell us a bit more about this event and who are the exciting people who are going to speak.
So you told me about how do we get new generation into our business, how do we enthuse them to be in print. So artificial intelligence and chat GPT is something which everybody is talking about, but they're talking about undertones that the world is coming to an end and the machines are going to take over us because of AI, etc., which is not the truth. So to demystify this, we are having a panel discussion of AI and print. And to head that panel, we've got Milap Shah of Printstop, and we've got Harish Mehta of NASCOM. He's the guy who founded NASCOM in the country. He's going to tell us a macro view of what AI is doing around the world. And then we have printers who have already started using AI in their businesses. And they're going to enthuse the audience by telling them that, see, this is something that we all need to adopt. So I think that's going to be a very, very interesting panel. That's the AI panel.
Great. What else?
Okay, and now we've got the head of Adidas India, Nilendra Singh, and superb story. He's been the boss of Adidas India for some time now, and Adidas has this huge problem of Nike and Puma. So how they are remaining relevant. We're trying to bring that out to the print industry because we are also trying to remain relevant. And he as a brand needs to remain relevant. So what are the strategies? And then his interaction with all the sports personalities, etc., etc. So he's going to tell us a little bit about that. We also have a very, very interesting gentleman, KBS Anand. Now, he is a man who is the brain behind the Asian Paints success. So he's not the founder of Asian Paints. He's been the CEO of Asian Paints for like 20 odd years, 2 decades. He's retired now. He's on the board of several companies as an independent director even now. but he's going to tell us the entire story of how Asian Paints became that Indian multinational which it is today.
Okay.
So
Like,
that's a
like
brilliant-
EPL in a sense.
like EPL, yes. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, very interesting. So this is, I think, quite normal for BMPA to take advantage of the big brands that are in Bombay. And so you're going to have that also in this event.
Yes.
to
So
motivate
last
them.
year we had Boman Irani from Bollywood, and so we try and choose not entertainment but intellectual entertainment, and he has a really brilliant story about from a waiter to a waferwala and then to the big star that he is. So he told us. So this year, what do we do? How do we get the big star? So we've got a lot of demand for sports personalities.
Okay.
So this year we've got Harsha Bhogle.
Okay.
And he's going to be telling us his story again, linking it with the personalities of the various cricket stars that he has worked with, he's interviewed, etc., and how he's learned from them and how he connects that to business.
Yeah, and I think he's a management guy. at
He's
heart.
a management guy.
Okay, so it sounds like a terrific show. I mean,
Wait, there's one more.
one more.
Yep.
More.
So what the essence of Print Summit is, I've been told that you guys don't even let us go to the loo because it's 12 hours. 9 o'clock sharp in the morning to 9 o'clock at night. You don't let us get up from our seats. The moment we want to get up from our seats, you do a raffle draw, and only the people in the auditorium are allowed the raffle. So we don't even want to leave the auditorium. So we need some peace in the auditorium. It's not too much action, too much energy. So every year we have a spiritual guru who comes and calms us down. We had Gaur Gopal Das, we had Sister Shivani, and this year we have the head of Vedanta Foundation, Sunanda ji. She's going to come and she's going to give us a spiritual talk and tell us how we also need to calm down. It's all very good to be pepped up in Print Summit and in business, but it's also important to meditate and slow down.
Great. I think we can all learn to be less angry and speak more softly and deal with our own traumas without transferring them to others. So this is a great chance to do it together, and it's great. I mean, this is, it becomes a spiritual experience. Like, why do people want to sit together and pray or sit together and meditate? And for printers to do it together also is a memorable thing.
That's true.
Great.
I hope to see you there, 16th January,
Okay.
NCPA 2025, Mumbai.